made some dowsing rods out of a couple pieces of tungsten wire. And I'd heard that not only is it good to pick up groundwater, but you can pick up caskets with dowsing rods because they fill up with groundwater. And I would just make a mark on the ground with my foot every time they would cross. And as I got to the light pole, I turned around, I was gonna come back and check myself. Well, when I came back, I looked down at the mark that I made with my foot, and every mark that I made, there was a nickel laying in it.
He has not gone in and dug into the turf to find out if ancient corpses reside underneath his home, but it's very possible. It's very possible that that's the place where people were laid to rest, and that's the reason this portal of darkness has opened up inside their home.
Do you believe in ghosts, girls?
I do. I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in angels.
I do believe in ghosts. I do.
Many years ago in England, I was lucky enough to have a very close relationship with somebody who could talk to ghosts, and I had proof, absolute proof. Too long to cover in this thing, but definitely believe in ghosts.
I absolutely do, 100%.
So tell us what makes you believe in ghosts.
Well, I just am a spiritual being that thinks that there's a level of energy out there that is not human, and I feel it.
Charleston was founded in 1670 as a business venture by the British. Turmoil has followed. There have been wars, disasters. There have also been a lot of ghost stories here as well. We're here in Philadelphia Alley, just south of the city market. Philadelphia Alley, back in the olden times, was populated by very poor African American families that have since become our Gullah culture.
Oh my Lord, sing it to the world, follow the light, fight the good fight.
It's a tradition that involves not only food and language, but also some deep, dark superstitions, some of which we'll explore tonight. Right now we're in the middle of Charleston's French Quarter, which was the epicenter of the sale of slaves back in the golden days of the antebellum period. Slaves were sold here in the French Quarter to keep it out of the public eye. Most people regard Gullah as being a language, and it is. It was a speak that came about in the days of slavery so that some slaves that spoke the same tongue couldn't communicate on the plantations. But even though they talked a different language, they came together. They came up with a patois that is now the language known as Gullah. But it is also superstitions that are rich here in the Low Country's fabric.
Everybody like to know about that blue piazza painting. The piazza we call on the porch, maybe around the windows and the ceiling. My understanding as a child growing up, it would keep the hag away, keep the hat away, evil spirits away. And so the old people must have brought that from our motherland, from Africa. A lot of these traditions were brought with our ancestors, you see. We didn't just create them ourselves. They came with the tradition just like the sweetgrass came. And so hags and hants were really real. A hag is something, Charlie jump on you and you can't get him off. Yeah, hag spirit is like it'll jump on you, unbeknown, leave you stiff, and you can't move till the hag moves.
Although the concept of Haint Blue might sound like crazy mumbo jumbo, an author named Wade Davis from Harvard wrote a book called The Serpent and the Rainbow. The point of his book, to find out how witch doctors enslaved people using the bladder of a blowfish. There's a toxin in there that they would use on suckers in the market. They'd inject it, the victim would fall into such a deep coma that it mimicked death. And then the witch doctor would dig them up later on after the funeral and infuse smaller tinctures of the same poison. So the concept of zombies is not far-fetched if you've seen the dead rise from the earth.
Well, the old people believed in wintertime you could go out in the fields and get what we call night everlasting. Break a cold. You have a bad cold and fever, they boil that tea and give you that tea. And it would, overnight, you would really sweat it out. And that was one remedy. Of course, we had some old sayings. If you believe something gonna hurt you or harm you, we throw the salt around the door. Salt have...
Because cross over the
There you go, walk. You know about them, boy?
Heard a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, about the salt. They believe in doing that. I know I have seen older people in my days coming up, racing out their track, racing the track out, walk and backtrack, race that track. We take all day to race your track out now, so that nothing evil can follow you in your tracks.